Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Cara Delane and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Cara Delane.
Welcome to the Fixed Ops After Dark. I'm so excited tonight, Ted. We have two amazing guests with us.
We do, and they're new to the After Dark show. We want to welcome our featured guests, Linda Hansen, who is here, a great supporter of the Roundtable for a long time. Go find out a lot about her tonight, Cara. And David Reinicke is here, and he's going to be on the show coming up in about 3 weeks with this company. So we're interested in what the work he's doing. And Cara, can you believe we're 3 weeks away from the big event and 2 weeks away from the pop-up over at Ed Roberts' dealership?
Yes, that is so crazy. I feel like we have been working on this event for so long, and then now it's just here all of a sudden. So I'm looking forward to it. I know it's going to be an amazing event. And then, yeah, the thing at Bozar, the pop-up event, that's something new and it's fresh and it's exciting.
It is. And we've been promoting the 80s event, everybody, if you haven't noticed. And the reason for that is that we have the big event coming up, like I said, in 3 weeks. Amon, good evening. So, Cara, we are live tonight, right?
We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So hopefully everyone is reposting and sharing the video and commenting down below for our guest tonight.
And the show is coming up. It is the Back to the 80s show. It is May 15th through the 18th, Monday through Thursday. You can see our friend Ed Roberts is on there. Sarah Van Tyne is there. Tully Williams as well. And we've got an amazing lineup for that 4-day show. It is packed, Cara. I was just looking at the agenda. We've actually got enough content for almost 5 days, so it's gonna be pretty crazy. So,
and remember that time you told me no way we'll have more than 4 full days of content?
I just told you that like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Now we have an extra day almost.
All right, and now I know you've got some trivia coming up in the show. Do you want to give us a little preview of what's coming up, or?
Yes, so we're gonna play Guess Who again tonight. So if you've been watching us the last few weeks, we've had everyone that participates in the Fixed Ops Roundtable or the After Dark show send us pictures of themselves from the 80s, and we have to guess who they are. And so I think we have the most that we've ever had tonight, right, Ted? So should I show a couple of them to start out? And
yes,
let everybody
and I know Cindy Reynolds has had her picture on here, so I guess Cindy is not. And Jeremy Stevens, you haven't changed, okay, from the 80s. And by the way, so Ed Roberts texted me a picture today, and Jeremy is at Bozard today, so I just saw that. How about that? So
nice.
Yeah, let's see what you got. Give us a little tease if you don't mind.
Should we show a couple of them and then let everyone guess throughout the show, and we'll reveal them at the end?
And then we'll come back with the rest. Okay, let's do it.
Let's see here. We'll show this one first.
Okay. All right. So this is somebody from the 80s. Any clues, Cara, on this hardworking young man?
I want to just say that it should look pretty familiar. This is somebody that we're getting to know even better here shortly. I don't know. I don't want to give too much away. Dan
Stockel in the chat tonight. So I actually told Cara this could be me, right? But it's not, right? But,
no tie.
I would be Linda. You could see me doing this, right, at a young age.
Yes, I could.
All right, so this is our first challenge for tonight. Okay, so everybody, if you know who this first guest is, put it in the chat, and we'll come back and reveal that. And who else we got? Reed Richards, good evening.
I'm going to show one more.
Okay.
Beautiful lady. It looks like maybe a plane is behind her.
Okay, an airplane. So perhaps a pilot or somebody with aviation. So who in the roundtable could this be, everybody? And we will let you all guess on these two. Any more hints on this one, Cara?
I will say this lady always is in the comments during the After Dark shows.
Okay. All right.
Always. I see her comments.
All right. So two, everybody, to start off, and then you have a lot more tonight, right?
Oh, yes. So I'll reveal those later in the show, but I'll let everybody kind of just guess on that for a little bit.
Okay. And we do want to thank our exclusive sponsor for tonight's show. It's BG Products, partners beyond products. And we're very grateful to them for all they do in the industry. And we'll be out there in just a couple of weeks, Cara, to visit.
I know. Yeah. I'm really excited to learn about everything BG. It's going to be really exciting.
Good stuff. And by the way, somebody was asking me if they want to send in pictures for the After Dark show. Like Curtis Nixon from Update Promise was just texting me, sent me like 3 pictures. Kara, can people still submit photos or?
Of course, we will take as many as possible. So if you have one, you haven't sent us any at all for the After Dark show, please send them directly to me at Kara@fixedopsroundtable.com, because we're already getting a lot for Wednesday, right, Ted?
Yeah, we have a lot, and we have a lot tonight. So good stuff.
Yep.
All right, David Reinicke, let's find out a little bit about Automotive Warranty Network. You know, I have been in the business for a long time. Ed Roberts, good evening. Now we can start. Kara, Ed's here. Ed, and I don't know if you know Linda and if you know David Reinicke, but David, from what I understand, you are the biggest warranty submission company in the industry, or certainly one of the biggest. I know Avery reached out to me and, was telling me all about it and talking it up. And David, I'll let you do the honors and tell us what's going on.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah. So we're one of the biggest warranty claims administration companies out there. We currently have about 280 very talented warranty admins, and we process for every manufacturer, for anything from Kia to Bugatti. So we take the role of warranty administration on an outsourced basis, and we partner with our clients not just to process their warranty, though. We also offer training so we can work with their technicians, work with their advisors, help them understand the roles and responsibilities in the whole warranty process. And then we also offer auditing services, so we can do mock audits the way the manufacturer would, to kind of help dealerships get a benchmark of where they would be today. Our goal is really to help dealerships collect everything they're entitled to and make sure that it's retained in an audit. So
Owen Moon is in the chat, as well as Robert Miggs and Corley. Owen, one thing I thought that was really interesting that David does is these audits. David, I thought that was really novel. The fact that you can really, pull, I imagine you go in and pull X number of ROs and then perform similar as the factory would do with the audit. Tell us about that, because I hadn't heard about that before.
Yeah, actually, so we developed a piece of our software. So we actually have a compliance software that we use with our clients on a daily basis that helps them see where their shortcomings might be in the dealership. So what kinds of issues they're having compliance-wise, whether it's 3Cs, clock time issues, all that kind of good stuff. But we also have a full auditing software that helps us to put together an audit. And then we have a nice presentation that we give to the dealership, show them where their most common discrepancies are, and then, help develop an action plan and, a plan of action around that information to help them get better. So we truly see ourselves as partners of our clients and our dealerships that we work with. So
you do a great job, and we have a great interview coming up on the Roundtable in May. Thank you for doing that. And a lot more beyond that, okay, with panels and so on. Linda, do you know Owen Moon? I see he's calling you out here, and so is Cindy. So
Owen and I and Cindy and I have been in a lot of groups together over the years, so it's nice to see everyone. Nice, this is wonderful. So, and I'm going to tell David
David is in Colorado. You're in Ohio, is that right?
Right. And David, in a past life, I was a warranty administrator for a store that had 23 different lines of warranty, because we did multiple motorhomes and things like that. It takes a special person to be able to juggle all that. And what you provide is so important. I see more and more dealers getting in trouble with warranty. I mean, we all know the story of the warranty administrator who quits and you can't get the bottom desk drawer open because all the paperwork they couldn't figure out is stuffed in there. So what you do is a huge service. So thank you. Well,
yeah, absolutely. And just a quick little history you might find interesting about our company. My mom actually started doing this in our basement when I was about 6. So I joined her about 20 years ago. My background's in technology, so this is something I've been around most of my life. Filing paperwork and all that kind of good stuff. So
your mom started the company, David?
Yes.
That's
wow.
So cool.
Okay. I know your family was in the business. I didn't know mom started it. That's great.
Yeah, my mom started it when I was about 6. My wife and I purchased the company about 3 years ago. So kept it in the family, owned and operated. So just keep going.
I love it. Kara, another female operated business right out of the start. Entrepreneur.
And my wife is really the brains of the operation. You're going to have to get her on one of these shows because she's the operator.
Wow.
All right, David, you got to watch what you say around here. So
we'll get her on here.
So I love it. So Linda, I know great history, okay, in Ohio, but what's even more amazing is the work that you do around the country, and you've done it for, I think you said 16 or so years.
Yeah.
You have your own company. You work with OEMs. You work with manufacturers. You do train the trainer. You build out programs. You write the content. You do the training. Tell us about that, because it's pretty fascinating.
I live the life of a gypsy most of the time, and it's absolutely wonderful. That slowed down a little bit after when COVID hit and we went into this virtual world. But back out, on airplanes, usually fly out on Sunday and fly home on Friday. It's very busy out there. So I know a lot of things that I do don't really apply to the fixed operations, because I've done sales training, I've written launch programs for new products, but my heart and soul is really fixed ops. My dad was a parts manager. I grew up hanging out at the dealership. When there was a vacation day from school, I didn't want a day off. I wanted to go and hang out at the store. Figured out at a very early age that technicians wasted a heck of a lot of time at the parts counter. So I had a cart. I would get the parts and I would deliver them out to the technicians. That was 3rd and 4th grade. So it was just kind of natural that I got into this business. Right now, I do a lot of consulting with individual retailers. Whatever the need is, whether it's sales or service, sometimes I go in and train new service managers, new service advisors, do a lot of work with technicians, getting the ins and outs of virtual or multi-point inspections, the videos and the photos to go along with them. I have a few pet peeves in the industry that go along with our horrible appointment systems that we have right now, the backlog, turnover of service advisors. I was mystery shopping a store yesterday, and if I want a rental car, it's 9 weeks out for an appointment.
Wow.
As a consumer, somebody driving a car, I'm not waiting 9 weeks, especially for customer pay work. So I work with retention, defection, what we can do to keep these customers coming back. Because, there's a few things customers want. They want convenience, they want value, they want transparency, they want trust. And if we drop the ball on any of those, we're going to lose them. And we don't have enough customers to be able to do that in our fixed operations department. So.
Linda, I don't know if you know this person in the chat, Mark Mickens. He's here in New Jersey, former dealer. And Mark works with a company called ES3. Okay.
Oh, sure.
And Mark has a great Mercedes background. And so Mark he's been retail all his life. Okay. He actually lives in the same town where I live. Right. And he's David, he's the football coach in town for the last 39 years or 40 years. Right. And Mark works for ES3 and he does a lot of this work now, consulting. And Linda, it's new to him. So he's like really excited about it still. Right.
Oh, it's wonderful. I've done contracts with ES3 in the past. So it's a small world.
David, so David, that fella Chad, who was in the chat just a few moments ago, works for this fella, Sean Kingery. Sean was just on the cover of Fixed Ops magazine. So once they're on the cover, David, little thing that Carol, what do we call him now? What, Sir Sean Kingery?
Sir Sean. Yep.
So Sir Sean. So Sean is leading a group in Wisconsin. He's got 8 rooftops now. And he just went there late last fall out of Florida from running a much bigger group. And so Sean, David does warranty filing, okay, and is the leader in the industry in that. How about that, David? What are some of the needs that our industry? What do you see our industry needing right now? What kind of comes to mind, from your perspective, right now in the middle of April 2023?
I think the biggest thing is just making sure that you're submitting the money correctly. There's so many bits and pieces to warranty work anymore that needs to be done. I mean, we need to have proper comments. We need to have the right parts charged out. And it's really important to make sure all this is happening as timely as possible. Because in the panel that you and I did that'll be aired coming up here, we talked about days to submit and first time pay rates and all that kind of good stuff. And, those are all metrics that the manufacturer is weighing a dealership on when they're submitting warranty work, and how good, how well it's being done, I guess I'll say. So those are some of the high points. And we're also seeing lots of audits. I mean, I think maybe that's part of the post-COVID. I think a lot of manufacturers were a little looser during the COVID period. And I think, they're coming back around to, spot check some of that work now. So it's very important to make sure, all that money is being collected as efficiently as possible. And, we always say, we don't want to help dealerships take loans. We want to make sure they get payments. So we want to make sure that work it's audit proof, and they keep the money that they collect. So.
Excellent. And you go to bat for the dealer, David. I know that. And you know the ins and outs. Going back to those metrics, time to submit. Talk to us a little bit about that, because the manufacturer is monitoring that for every dealer, are they not?
They are. Yeah, they monitor the days to submit. So how many days does it take you to submit a warranty claim? Your first time pay rates. So are you trial and erroring submitting it, or are you getting it right the first time when it goes through the system edits? So. Those are all very important metrics that they use to, decide if they're going to take a look at, what you're doing and which dealership. We've had a lot of clients that have come to us because, those metrics are out of line, and they've actually heard from the manufacturers. And so they call us to help them get those metrics in line. And so, the relationship stays good with the manufacturer, because that's a very important relationship too. The relationship between the manufacturer and the dealership. So all that kind of plays a part in, how healthy that relationship is, in my opinion. So,
and David, I can't see a lot of people coming into the business now saying, I want to be a warranty administrator and start my career in the dealership, doing that. Is that slowly, working its way out? What are your thoughts?
I wouldn't really say so. I mean, probably not going into the dealership and wanting to be a warranty administrator. But we've got a lot of new talent that's coming into our organization that we're working on, training them up into warranty administration. And, especially when you're doing it on an outsourced basis, and you're not in the dealership, dealing with some of the other things that happen in a dealership on a daily basis. I think maybe, there's a lot more willingness to, process the work remotely.
So Linda, I could see the warranty administrator getting asked, hey, can you help us with this? Can you help us with that? I know Kara knows that doesn't ever happen, but Linda, that could happen, right?
Oh, it happens all the time. Yeah, definitely. And it's a tough job in the dealership, because you're trying to keep the technicians happy. You're trying to keep the factory happy. You're trying to make your metrics and hit probably a bonus tied to it. And one of the things that I do, David, when I go into a store is I grab 100 repair orders randomly. I don't tell them that I want 100 repair orders, because I don't want them cherry picked. Yep. And I do a repair order audit. And what I see right now is a lot of shortcuts being made, because we do have so much turnover in the service advisor position that, my pet peeve is miles in, miles out. And
big one.
The technician takes the time to update the miles out, and it never gets put on the customer's hard copy. And I have seen dealers lose lawsuits because of things like that. So, I mean, it's a legal document, the repair order. You have to dot your I's and cross your T's. And if you do things wrong, you could have a $3,000 claim in warranty absolutely, get written off. And nobody wants to be doing things like that.
David, you mentioned some of those things, miles in and miles out, and, documenting all these things during our segment.
Yep, I do.
Well,
yep.
I love it.
I'm sure another pet peeve is your DAG codes and DTCs and all that kind of good stuff that's commonly missing, right?
Commonly missing, and service advisors who think they can diagnose on the service drive. So lots of things go into making or breaking a good quality repair order.
And I love what Sean just said about, right? So.
Yeah, right. That's a really good point Sean just made about right state warranty labor rates. Yeah.
Yes. Linda, I thought you don't do a lot on fixed operations. It doesn't sound that way.
No, I do a lot of fixed operations, but it's not everything I've done in my career, but it is where I am most passionate. I was a service director for a couple stores in Chicago for many, many years before we moved to Cincinnati. So,
how'd you start off in the business, Linda? What did you come in as?
I came in doing assistant service advisor when I was in college, and I was playing drums on the weekends, playing in a band in DC. We played all the military clubs. And then I was working part-time, posting new car inventory, and working in the evenings with the sales department. And then when I got out of school, I liked cars. I liked making money. So I went full-time at the dealership, and then got a phone call from Pontiac Motor Division, I was at a Pontiac Olds GMC Honda store, and went to work for the manufacturer. Went to Detroit, got my technical training, and then went out in the field. So it's been a great career.
Wow. Wow.
Awesome.
David, comment from Sean. There was a day when warranty admins were the first to be cut. The new business model is completely the opposite. Huge part of day-to-day operations. Any thoughts on that?
I like that comment because it's so true. Unfortunately, I feel like there's still a lot of dealerships that we run into out there as we're going through our day-to-day operations that, don't really see it as a vital part as it is in some cases. But he's absolutely right. It's a very integral part of the operation. And this is another thing I mentioned on the segment we talked about, Ted, and I don't mean to give it all away, but you're trusting this person that's collecting your warranty with, in a lot of cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Our average client probably collects close to $2 to $3 million a year in warranties. So that's a lot of money to be, just kind of willy-nilly with, A
lot of money at stake. And Linda, like you said, for the bigger rooftops, right, there's a whole lot at stake, plus making sure that they're filing for the, reimbursement at retail and doing that annually with all the things that are happening in the market with inflation. And Kara, I agree with that last comment. This is a pretty brilliant group.
I know. Cindy's saying it too.
Yeah, I love it. So great stuff. Linda, what do you think? What else would you be looking at right now, this time mid-April, are you concerned about in our industry that we should be aware of?
The backlog of customers being able to get their cars in for service is critical. The parts availability is getting a little bit better. We're gearing up for another new model year coming out, so we know that we better stay on service on top of the product, because today, with the sophisticated cars that are coming out, we all know that there are some cars that leave the dealership and come back on a hook 2 days later, and brand new cars, because of software data issues, over-the-air update problems. So there's just so much going on. I think constantly training your people and coaching and counseling when things aren't going right, sharing metrics, and keeping the lines of communication open between dealership departments. Those are huge right now.
I love it. David, as Linda said, with all the technology and sophistication and these ADAS systems, I would imagine warranty is going up and continuing to increase because of all the new electronics and all the features that are in these cars.
We're certainly seeing that, yes. A lot of our clients have, tripled in size, from a warranty dollar standpoint. And I know a lot of that goes into like labor rate increases and that kind of thing. But also the electronic components on these vehicles, and especially as you get into EVs and batteries and stuff. I mean, it's not uncommon to have a $40,000 battery that needs to be replaced in an electric vehicle. So, less moving components, I guess I would say, but the components are certainly more expensive, I would say.
What's happening like with the EVs and those batteries when something like that happens? What's the process on that?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
A lot of manufacturers, it's a swap out. They have a centralized place that the battery gets returned to, and they get a new battery to put in the vehicle. Okay. But I love that you mentioned EVs, because one of the things when I'm training service advisors, whether virtually or in person, I ask them, how many of you have plugged in and charged an EV? And I'm getting more hands being raised now, but 6 months ago, 8 months ago, your service advisors, who are the go-to people for the customer, didn't even know how to charge an EV. So the industry really needs to stay on top of training.
Linda, what about Tracy's comment here from Traction down in Texas, drop in RO count over the last couple of years? What are you seeing?
There definitely can be. We were talking about that really bad situation that a lot of stores are in right now, where they're booking 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks out. If you have a customer that wants to do business with you, you need to find a way to do business with them, especially once they're in that customer pay phase. So because of the soft sales, we do have, customers defecting. And I think one of the most important things we need to do is that sales to service introduction when the customer buys the new car, buys the CPO, or buys a used car. If I do a UCI on a Chevrolet and I'm a Honda dealership, I can do your work on the Chevrolet too. So we want to capture everything we possibly can. And I also see stores overbooking and selling all the available time, scheduling all the available time. And then when you do have an additional service request, they can't get it done that day. So we just have a lot of accountability issues and processes in stores that need to be a little bit more defined and a little bit more accountable.
And how about stores like Ed Roberts? Ed's got those.
Ed's amazing.
Those 10 mobile vehicles. Okay, that has to help. Okay,
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. And I have followed Ed since they've put their first one in, and he's a amazing manager, has great employees, great lines of communication, and from everything I see, everybody who works at his stores has a smile on their face. So Ed, you're doing something right.
All right. Well, Kara, we're going to find that out real soon, right?
We are. Yep, in person.
That's great.
All right. So as promised, we got a lot of pictures to show tonight, Chad. Okay. So Kara, if you would kind of do the honors, let's see if we can guess who is who from back in the 80s.
Yeah. So I think a few people were guessing this one correctly here.
Okay.
Because I saw in the comments when we first were on, a few people were getting this one right, and it was Miss Linda.
Oh, Linda. Okay. Linda, you are a pilot or have a plane?
We don't have the plane any longer, but that was my husband and I. That was our wedding present to each other many, many years ago. Wow. So when we moved to Cincinnati, we were both so busy, we just didn't have time to fly anymore. But it was absolutely amazing for many, many years. So.
I love it. All right.
Yep.
So Linda's the first one. Now, who was that little?
I'm glad I'm still recognizable after all these years.
Right? And then we had this one. This one was the first one, but I didn't see anybody guess this one correct.
Lot less hair on that head now.
Oh, okay. Is
that
you, David?
Be my guess, David.
Oh,
there you go.
David
it
Reinicke.
Was David.
Love it. So is that your mom? Are you working at your mom's desk there, David? Or?
That was actually my grandpa's. So okay. My grandpa was in the industry as well. He was a regional director for Chrysler as well. So
this business gets in your blood and passes from generation to generation.
I think
yes, it does.
You got a few more for us.
Oh,
yeah. So when I saw this picture, Kara, you know what I thought?
What'd you think?
I thought Elvis Presley.
And
Linda, right? There's some resemblance.
There is some resemblance.
Yeah, the smile and all. Yeah.
And you got word today, right, from this man that was his nickname, right?
That was his nickname in school. They called him EP, Elvis Presley. So everybody, do you recognize this person? He's been on the Fixed Ops Roundtable for years, okay? He's a fixed ops director, usually on many panels on the event, and Best Practice Award winner as well. Elvis, yes, Cindy, but it's not Elvis, okay? It is not Ted, no.
Nope.
Can I make a guess?
Yes, you can.
Of course.
Is that Tully?
No.
Oh, no, it's not.
No, okay.
No.
Mike.
Oh, Mike
Weldon. Look at that. From Hansen Automotive Group.
Yep.
In Santa Rosa. Very good. Great friend of the roundtable. Ooh.
Elvis mixed with Tully.
All right. Are any hints on this person?
You know, I don't know if I would have got this one right, Ted. This guy watches our show pretty frequently. You've known him for a long time, Ted.
He has a nickname. We call him the Coach.
Ah, that's a good hint.
Big fan of the roundtable, Kara. Big fan of, especially of this show.
Yep.
And he's been on a number of panels recently.
but I don't know if I would have gotten this one correct.
Spent a lot of time in retail, fixed ops director, West Coast and East Coast. I didn't know until recently he had worked at Paragon Honda for a while, but he's mostly known for his California work in fixed ops. The coach.
The coach. Oh, Robert's trying, but it's not
John
right
Fairchild. No, not John Fairchild. Mike
It's
Vogel.
either. Mike Vogel.
Linda, do you notice how a lot of the men lose their hair?
I think it's the car industry that does it to you.
Linda, I asked on Monday, I said, should I be worried about my hair working in the industry? Am I going to lose it?
No.
She still has hair, so I have hope.
You're fine.
All right. Big name at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Very big name.
I
Very
think I
well
would have
known.
got this one right.
Okay.
I think this guy is very recognizable.
Yep.
So what he looks like today.
Yep. Ran a big Toyota store in Florida. And now is involved in the trade-in process on the service drive, making sure those are accurate trade appraisals. Very big name, big thinker in the industry. Robert's right. It's Brian.
Yep.
Brian Kramer.
Brian
Yep. AccuTrade, cars.com, executive vice president. So Brian's going to be on 2 panels with us here at the Roundtable. So looking forward to that. So good stuff. Guess who?
Man, I don't know if I would have got this one either.
Linda, you actually came in contact with this person this morning on that show you were on Clubhouse.
Oh my gosh.
He was
That's
on there.
not Tully.
No.
Not
No.
Tully. No.
It's not David Long.
Or maybe.
Or maybe it is. Oh my gosh. Wow. How fun.
Good job. I love that.
And now I think I saved the best 2 for last.
Okay, let's do. All right.
Who is this lady here?
Boy, in the 80s, huh?
I would have got this one right. I think she looks still very much like this.
David, she looks bad, this girl, right? She looks, I don't want to mess with this girl.
Any guesses, Linda, on who this is?
That's not Sarah, is it?
No.
No, not in the 80s.
Just
No.
the long blonde hair.
Sarah would have been, actually, we had Sarah's picture the other night. She was a little girl in the late 80s. So,
I was going to say she's way too young for that.
yeah. This young lady became the queen of F&I later in life
That's a good hint.
and has been on the show many a time, has her own show on Wednesday nights as well.
Mm-hmm.
Big name in the industry. One of the founding members of the Roundtable 4 years ago who helped start this.
Nobody's getting this one right either.
I don't know.
Becky Charney.
Becky.
Yeah. How about that?
Okay, now the last one I have. I would bet any amount of money that everyone gets this one right, Ted. What do you think?
This is one we've waited for a long time.
We
So,
waited for this one.
okay.
Who is this man?
Big name on the Roundtable.
Yep.
I think it's somebody I guessed earlier.
Yeah.
think
He
it
says
is.
he says it's all about the hours, Linda.
That's Tully.
Yeah, that's
It's got to be Tully.
what I was going to say to you.
Telling you
I like his current glasses better than the old school ones.
Right? I mean, very
but-
recognizable though, right?
Yeah, right. Look at that. The part in the hair, Kara. Look at that. It's the same.
Same hair. He didn't lose his hair.
No, it just got gray.
Everyone was getting that one right.
Yep, Tully.
How fun.
Love that.
It looks like he's selling hours.
It looks like he is Robert, right? So Robert is going to be keynote speaker at our event coming up, and Liza Borges is going to introduce him. So we're excited about that, Robert. And it is Sir Tully. And Robert, great job on that keynote. So we're excited to have you and really proud of you. You did a great job with that whole presentation. all about Carter Myers Automotive, David. So it's a fascinating story. And Liza will be here to introduce Robert, and she's the the CEO and president of Carter Myers. So we're very proud of her as well. If you have 80s pictures, Kara at fixedopsroundtable.com.
That's right. And I saw that Robert Miggs already sent me an email, so he'll be hopefully appearing on Wednesday. So that's already a hint for a Wednesday night.
Or if you have somebody's photo from the 80s, right, that we can verify, you can send those in as well, right?
Yeah, if you have a friend, send theirs in without them. No, just kidding.
That's sneaky.
Well, I'm thinking like Tully and David Long and Weldon have all worked with each other. So that's an example, right?
Yep.
All right. So one last time, we have a big event coming up in 3 weeks, Kara?
We do. It's on May 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. Back to the 80s is only a few short weeks away. So if you haven't already got your complimentary tickets, you can grab them after the show at fixedopsroundtable.com.
It's a hot ticket, everybody, complimentary, and you want to be sure to get in. The agenda will be announced next Monday with the times for all the speakers, so we're excited about that and looking forward to what could be our biggest show ever. So Jeff Bogaski, text preferred. What do you think, Kara?
He's calling me out, but I did respond to an email to him today.
Okay, all right.
A day later.
Jeff, there are miracles, right? So
just for you, Jeff.
So we're actually exploring some new technology that we're going to be using for this, deploying it with some text, some cool new things we've never done before. Yeah. Now, we use text for the roundtable, all of you know, but not in the way that we're about to do. So there'll be some really cool things going on. So like it. All right, David, thank you so much for being with us tonight. And Linda, thank you as well.
Thanks
Lovely
for having
being
me.
Here.
Nice to meet you, Linda.
Nice to meet you too. We'll definitely be talking.
Absolutely.
Kara, this was a good team.
Yeah, they complemented each other well, and they had kind of a similar upbringing too with their families in the business. So great pair tonight.
Yeah, I love it.
Thanks.
Thank you guys so much for being on the show, and nice to meet you both. And thank you everyone for watching us tonight and sending in your 80s photos. And until Wednesday, we will see everybody with more 80s photos. So send them to me. We'll see you then.